record on my own because I'm giving away other games today. Woo! Okay. We're going to give it another minute because people are finding the link, hopefully. It's Tuesday, which is almost Thursday, but Thursday's actually Friday. Does that make any sense? Thursday is Friday, which is the last day of the term. So theoretically, we end on Friday, even though we end on Thursday.
Are we having class on the Thursday, but actually Friday?
So traditionally, 4 o'clock on the last day of the term is poorly attended. Not casting any aspersions. And 3 o'clock is not much better. So usually what I do is I stop in, do some business, and call it a day. Right? So I don't think we'll go the full hour on Thursday, Friday. But I'll show up. We'll see who shows up. I may be talking to myself. But you know, you're all invited to come to class.
That's true. Some people might skip Thursday because of that. That's true.
I heard the first part of that, Matt, but I didn't hear the last part. Some people might skip Thursday because, and then I lost it. Huh? Because they're traveling? Because, I mean, yeah, whatever, man. You know when things are due, right? If you want to come and hang out with me, come hang out. It'll be fun. Matt didn't mean to be unmuted. Okay. Okay. So yeah, they confused your mustache for somebody else's mustache. Okay. Got it. Let's do this. Here we are. It's 3 p.m. We are here. Oh, wait. Just real quick. Okay. No, okay. I got a private message and I thought it was something, but it's not. Okay, so we are here to talk about the 3 p.m. ARG. Now, my first question is always for players, what did you call the ARG? Did you just call it the other ARG? And creators, what did you call the ARG? Did it have a title?
So in terms of 4 p.m., I think we just refer to it as either 3 p.m. or 3 p.m. ARG the whole time.
Okay, no, I am not trying to figure out how to merge the chat window, Allison. Alistair, sorry. You just called it the 3 p.m.
As someone who is not a member of either class, I thought of it as like the old Diamond ARG.
The old Diamond ARG. I thought of it as the eccentric ARG. Because that was the first thing I saw. Was the eccentric YouTube. The old Diamond seems reasonable. Creators, did you guys have a name for it?
I just called it our ARG. Our ARG and the 4 p.m. ARG.
Okay. That's reasonable.
On the same boat with like our ARG as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I see. I always forget which one is which, like 3 or 4, or I want to delineate in my head which one I'm playing, because I'm usually playing both, and or at least looking at both, because I'm a casual. And so I try and make up a name, and usually, well, and sometimes the players have a name for what they're doing and who they're talking to. Okay, so our ARG, the old Diamond ARG, these are all reasonable things. We just went to the next level of zoominess. Everybody got smaller. It's exciting. I like seeing big zooms. So next question. I ask this every year, and it kind of puts players on the spot. But can somebody tell me the story of the ARG? What? And I don't mean, and then we solved this puzzle, and then we did this, but what was the kind of pitch of the ARG? What was the central problem of the ARG? How were you tasked with first finding out about it, and second solving it? And what happened? Did I don't know, sea monsters rise from the deep, or not, or whatever? I'm making things up, but can somebody just run it by me real quick? Anybody? Players. I'm asking players, by the way, not creators. Nobody's clear?
I'll give my 2 cents.
Okay.
Personally, like the times that I did play, I was kind of just jumping in on whatever puzzle was happening, and I didn't really have the time to try and read back and figure out what the story was. But from my understanding, you were attempting to stop the end of the world. Don't exactly know what was causing the end of the world, and then we had to send Hope, one of the characters, a ritual at the end in order for that person to stop the end of the world. I don't if more of the class can fill in the gaps that I have, or if I'm just completely wrong.
Well, somebody said this was called, so I called it the eccentric ARG because we started with a YouTube channel called Eccentric that did weird and interesting stories. So, and somebody else said they called it the old Diamond ARG. There was a wizard named Diamond. Who was Diamond, and was he the good guy or the bad guy, or was he the one trying to end the world, or was he the one trying to save the world? Does anybody know?
Here, so I would like my thoughts on the story. So from my understanding, we have an old Diamond who was like this wizard who would like help sailors and stuff, and then like Hope was like a descendant of old Diamond, and like we were like helping her figure out old Diamond's journal, which contained the instructions to save the world. And then I know there was like another character whose name I cannot recall. I think like Ainsley, they had a Twitter account at least in the ARG, and like I feel like they were against us, so I don't fully understand their motivations. But they like took down one of the videos that was like posted to help us. So like we were like investigating for like the like strike company that was involved in the taking down of that video. But just like over the course of the thing, like we helped like decode all of Old Diamond's journal entries and figure out the instructions to the ritual so we could save the world.
Okay. Seems reasonably straightforward, right? So let me get this straight. Hope was a descendant of Old Diamond, right? And Old Diamond had written down how to save the world or how to end the world. Help me out, L.
I believe it's how to save the world.
How to save the world. Okay, so Old Diamond was a good guy, right? And had here are the instructions on how to save the world, but I have encoded them somehow. I guess because they're dangerous. See the fun part is always, well, why did they put all the ways to save the world behind all these codes and ciphers and puzzles? And trust me, part of it is to see if you are worthy, right? Are you good enough to be able to do the ritual? Okay, so we've got a basic story. Old Diamond's a good guy who wants to save the world, and apparently every so often the world is about to end, or did he know about hundreds of years ago that the world was going to end about now? I'm honestly, I have no idea.
I know it looks like the journal like listed a specific, I think it listed like May 11th, 2021. So I suppose Old Diamond like knew on this specific date in the future the world would end.
Okay.
The ritual was not performed.
Okay, cool. So we are called upon to enact the ritual, and in order to, but do we know who the bad guys were?
There's a person named like Ainsley who seemed to like they wanted the world to end, but I don't know why they wanted this.
Okay.
But they were trying to hinder us throughout the process.
Okay. Does anybody else know why Ainsley wanted the world to end? They must save their oranges. Ainsley wanted the spotlight. Okay. Ainsley was fiercely protective of their copyrights. Okay, so I want to ask again, players, and I'm kind of moderating here just because I'm in the middle. What was there any point where you were confused or unsure? I know people come in, people wander in, people wander out. Right now I'm playing something where we're supposed to figure out where we're going next, and nobody has any idea where we're going next, or why we should figure it out. Totally different game. But was there any point where you were confused or frustrated, or you want to ask the creators what was going on?
I mean, I personally would like to know what the shorthand note was supposed to be translated as, because I feel as though we got at least one word, not what it was originally supposed to be.
So, wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. From my understanding, I was not on game, but from my understanding, I think you actually guys got it 99.9% correct, and that missing 0.1% is because the word scurvy does not directly translate into shorthand in any way.
Yeah, it was supposed to be meets scurvy Spain, but scurvy didn't show up in the translation and no one caught it until after it was posted. And the person who went into Eccentric's account to like try and say, I think you guys got it right, or I think you guys are missing something, wasn't filled in on that before they went in. And so that's where the confusion came from, I think.
Okay, and I'm seeing in the chat what the Bitly puzzle was.
Yeah, that was a bit of a frustration point for us. I think that was like the first big puzzle you guys gave us. And we really couldn't figure it out. And we were trying so many different things. And we got to some sketchy websites trying to figure out Bitly links, which wasn't great. So that killed our motivation that one day, I'll be honest with you guys. But we did manage to figure it out. I don't really remember how it was figured out. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else from the team remembered how we figured that out.
Guessed it by accident.
All right,
I think I had like joined in the ARG late and then saw like that I think that puzzle was like going on, but like I was not frustrated yet because I had like jumped in like fresh to this puzzle, and like I suggested doing something with like the first and like last letters on like the words on each line, and I think someone else went and like figured out the final link from that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing from us is it would have been like, I feel like that puzzle just wasn't super straightforward, and there didn't seem to be a lot of hints in the actual writing of what we were supposed to do. So not having any hints like to point us in the right puzzle direction, like what to do, was very frustrating for us, because we kind of just looked at it like this is just a paragraph of writing, and the final hint to it didn't seem to clarify anything, and we were kind of just going in circles trying to figure it out.
Okay, so I'm seeing, the chat is lighting up, especially, well, for this. One of the hints from the following day definitely should have been in the puzzle from the beginning, saying it wasn't gibberish, but it wasn't a word in the end. And Lyra says, I designed the puzzle and I am deeply sorry. And don't be sorry. This is your first time. We're all trying to figure this stuff out. And part of the process is making mistakes, right? So it's okay. It was a good puzzle. It just needed more hints. I guess it was trouble with the vocabulary. Reagent 1 became Reagan Tone, which, yes. Spaces are hard, right?
So wait, was it spelled correctly? Was it Reagan or Regent?
Because
I think that's
Reagent 1.
Okay.
Well, but Reagan is spelled the same as reagent. Oh no, except
no, it's not. There's
E.
an A.
Sorry,
and E.
Reagan Tone. It's being something as broad as a Bitly link made it problematic. Yeah. So Bitly links, and I think I said this probably later, or again, I don't remember who I'm talking to all the time or who I say things to. But if we know that the answer is a particular word, it's a 6-letter word for ocelots, right? Then there's a way to check the work, because is it 6 letters? Is it about ocelots? What have you? But so many links are just random collections of letters and numbers. And so if you get a random collection of letters and numbers, you try that random collection and you go where the link takes you. And if the link takes you to sketchy malware or,
I almost got some sketchy malware.
Yeah.
I was very close to downloading something I should not have.
Yeah, that's always a bad thing. So some kind of password input system would have probably been safer. Yeah. Or just so one of the things you want to do when you're making puzzles is to give us to have a solution that you can give a kind of, the solution is a 4-digit number, or a 4-letter word, or well, a 4-letter word, a 5-letter word, so that you know if you're in the ballpark, right? That's always a good thing. And with so many of these are in escape rooms, they're easy because you go over to the lock you're trying to open and you see that it has 4 dials, and there are numbers on all the dials, or there are letters on all the dials, and so you know it's going to be something like that. We learned something, right? We learned how to make better puzzles. And one of the problems with this format, this course, is we talk a lot about how to tell a story, but we don't talk a lot about how to make a puzzle. And I just kind of throw you in the deep end and say, make puzzles. Go ahead. Have fun. And so some of them are good, some of them are not so good. And I'm not saying you should not feel bad. Who said they made that puzzle?
That was me.
Okay, Lyra, don't feel bad. In the end, they got to it. We have a question from El Sally. Do you have a specific citrus in mind for the ritual when you designed it? Everybody's saying orange.
Oranges. It was oranges.
Why oranges?
Really just there was no particular reason other than that, like when we were like, well, when you think of citrus, we kind of just collectively decided that orange is the first fruit that comes to mind when you think of citrus. So we decided to make it oranges, and what with oranges being more associated with sailors and scurvy and vitamin C than lemons and limes usually were.
Really? Okay. I always think of limes with scurvy because gin and tonics came out of scurvy and malaria, right? So the iodine in tonic is to get rid of malaria, and the lime is to get rid of scurvy. But it's chances are you have an orange around the house. Apparently not students at WPI so much.
In the original planning meeting, we chose oranges because they were the citrus people were most likely to have on hand or easily be able to get.
And yet we got a whole bunch of lemons, didn't we?
We figured that not everyone would have like access to lemons, so oranges were the best bet, I guess.
Yeah,
that didn't work out.
Chugged like a like shot of concentrated lime juice because that was the closest thing I had.
So I want to play this one because it's my favorite ritual. Can I play this for everybody? I don't remember who sent it in, but whoever did is awesome. I'm going to share this. Share, bam, optimize sound, share. He says he got a little fuzzy. There's the fortune teller. See, now that's awesome. So all of our intended beats did indeed go out. Yeah. So we the entire animal kingdom was involved in saving the world, or at least guinea pigs. I enjoyed that. Although, the pig did not drink any salt water. So maybe it's all not great. So that was my favorite moment. I'd like to ask y'all, what was your favorite moment? what did you have fun with? What did you enjoy most? What kept you coming back?
I think one thing that our class definitely really liked a lot was the YouTube video that you guys made. Those were stellar. They're fantastic. We love those videos.
Okay, yeah, I really liked Eccentric. I liked the videos. I think, and again, I forget who the narrator was, but you have a bright future as a YouTuber. Get those likes and subscribes. Was there anything that was especially fun? The ritual. Sean was the voice answer. Sean, plug your Twitch channel, your Twitch. Yes, absolutely. I'll watch you play games. Although I'm intimidating. When I come in, everybody gets quiet suddenly. So what else was fun? Sean for the narrations, the videos, the rabbit hole was top tier. Isaac did great video editing. The origami riddle. Somebody want to tell me about the origami riddle? Someone tell me about it, please.
I guess I can. I know it was revised from like the first draft of it, but essentially the idea was that since Eccentric would not have known what a paper fortune teller was since he lived in like the 1700s or like 1600s. The idea is that like he wouldn't exactly like it. He'd just have to try and describe it, and but you know, and like that like kind of I guess like mystic type of like phrasing or vocabulary. So that's kind of how like we got like referring to like squares and pyramids and folding. Someone else can probably explain this better, but
no, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. So you got to make a thing, which was those fortune teller things, which is cool. Did everyone make them? Did you look? Nobody. I got to come back to the video. Hi, Elsal. There, Elsal showed us their cool thing. There's yours. Papercraft is a wonderful thing because everybody has paper lying around. Oh, okay. Trying to guess the last few words for the shorthand was honestly pretty entertaining. My parents and I were discussing what the word after heroes would be for an hour. Okay. Another oversight with the shorthand puzzle is the lack of a G sound in Greg's shorthand. Ironic considering the name, but it all worked out in the end. It's interesting. We've never had a shorthand puzzle. Usually people go for strange substitution puzzles or mechanical puzzles that you can look them up online, and there are web pages where you can input ciphertext and output plain text, and that's, by golly, that's almost cheating in my book. I like to do things by hand. Grr. I've got notebooks full of me trying to decipher ciphertext and trying to figure out, and I get them wrong all the time. So honestly, I know nothing about shorthand, right? So you guys now know more about shorthand probably than you'll ever need to, because I don't know. Do people still use shorthand? Is shorthand a thing?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like
Okay.
if you're taking quick notes, reporters use shorthand. I use shorthand if I'm taking like notes in conferences and stuff. You can't, you know.
Where did you learn shorthand?
um, just because I was bored one summer, I decided why not.
So you looked it up and
Yeah.
Okay. Because like when I was in high school, in the misty eons before everything, the they taught there were two courses. There was a typing course and a shorthand course, to go into business, which meant I don't know, you were going to be somebody's secretary or something. And at the time, computers were just coming in, and so they told us all to take typing because computers. But we didn't take the shorthand course. That was crazy. I tried a bit of the shorthand puzzle after another gameplay designer wrote it. I didn't think it would be too difficult. Yeah. It's honestly just another code, right? The whole point.
Yeah, it is. Like there are three types of shorthand. Like there's T-line, there's Greg, and there's Pit, I believe is the third one.
Yeah.
And T-line is kind of more like understandable because it's used by reporters and stuff, and there are words you can use to substitute. But I believe the others are more symbolic, so you need to remember the symbols than anything else. So
Okay.
yeah.
But,
so the first one is what I did, not the second and third ones.
So the whole point is that you can write very quickly.
Oh, very fast. People, the Greg. Hold on, what is the other third one? Oh yeah, it's called Pittman. Yeah. So Greg and Pittman are, I think, used by like stenographers and stuff because it's much easier. But like T-line is reporters and journalists and people who write things with words.
I mean, I just love that these things you end up becoming experts in these little corners of stuff that you never thought you'd know. We have a question from John C. Did you guys have anything else hidden you were hoping we'd discover relating to Ainsley or Strike'em, by the way? Strike'em? Or just any other hidden story details you wanted to share that never really came to light during the course of the game? Yeah, is there anything that people didn't find? Not really. Did Ainsley's backstory ever fully come out? Was it written? Can somebody tell us Ainsley's backstory?
So from
yeah, I'm the Ainsley writer.
Oh,
yeah, okay, yeah, you take it.
So a long time ago, in the time of Old Diamond, there was a similar but rival wizard whose family line was named Zirconia, which Varun helped us decide because it's essentially a cheaper diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And so that wizard was fine with not being in the spotlight. They just did kind of day-to-day magic things. So eventually they were forgotten by time, and they were fine with that because they didn't need to be remembered by time. And so Ainsley is a descendant of that wizard. Ainsley, they are mad that their descendant decided to throw away the fame because they really want it. And so what Ainsley's plan in this ARG was that Ainsley was going to try and stop the ritual in order to save it themselves, but they didn't really have a way to. So in essence, if Ainsley managed to disrupt the prophecy, the world would end anyway because Ainsley didn't have a way to stop it.
Okay. John now gets it all.
We didn't really share much of it. It was more for us to know than for us to share, because it was easier to write the other things if we had an idea of the backstory.
Right, exactly. Well, that's why in many TV shows, games, whatever, you have what's called a Bible, right? Which is all the backstory of all the characters that may come out in the course of the game, the show, the novel, what have you, but maybe not. And maybe just knowing just knowing that a character lost their rubber ducky when they were 5, and that's why they have this intense hatred of ducks, will inform your writing, and that's perfectly fine. Even though there is nowhere in the actual text that they lost their rubber ducky when they were 5, right? So are there any other questions from players to creators? How about, are there any questions from the creator? Oh, we got one. Some of the poems on Ainsley's Twitter was a reference to the backstory. Actually. Okay, so are there any questions that the creators have for their players?
Just real quick, there was actually a question that I had asked earlier that I don't think got answered.
Okay.
Creators, so the creators, did you guys realize ahead of time how difficult it would be to translate shorthand? I don't know. That's what she was asking.
Oh, I did sort of answer that. I mentioned that I tried it myself a little bit, and I thought that it would be not as difficult as it was, I guess.
Where I was worried that nobody would recognize what shorthand was at all.
Yeah. Then again, so who figured out it was shorthand? Or was that just stated?
I noticed it as shorthand right away, but I think it's largely because I recognize it from the one episode of Doctor Who that involves shorthand in it.
Okay. So it's so funny because other stories inform these stories. Creators, do you want to ask your players anything? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oranges. So I have fabulous prizes I want to give out. First off, the first person who sent in a ritual video was Anthony. Anthony, are you here? Anthony D? Hi, Anthony. If you send me an email in a private message in the chat, I will send you a code for a game. It will be coming from Humble Bundle, not from me. But I love to give away Humble Bundle games. This will be a Steam code. Also, creators, I asked you to choose an MVP. This is the person who you think contributed most to your game as a player. And could somebody pop in and tell me who your MVP was and why? Also, Anthony, you are now the proud owner of a copy of Imperator Rome Deluxe Edition. A fine strategy game. So who is the MVP for this?
So we decided our MVP is Jersey Devil Survivor. So whoever Jersey Devil Survivor is in the Eccentric Discord, congratulations, you are MVP.
That is John. John,
nice. Nice work, John. You were super active. You were active like pretty much all the time on the ARG, and you even took just that little extra step to nickname yourself Jersey Devil Survivor, just to fit in to the Discord.
Excellent. John, send me an email or an email address privately in the chat, and I will send you a game code. Woo woo. Come on, John. There we go. Okay. Copy. And John is gift to a friend. Control V. Send email. You are now the proud owner of a game called Darksburg. It looks like kind of like Diablo kind of thing, isometric, running around whacking things. So have fun running around whacking things. Okay, so hope. Is there anything else anybody wants to say? Questions or I think John had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the guinea pig. I enjoyed all the ritual videos. I also think it's fun to like see each other, even if you're just being asked to do a silly thing. Like the very first thing I asked everybody to do in this class was send me a picture of them with their pet, an action figure, their roommate, their sibling, and tell me a 2-sentence story about that other person, thing, or what have you, just so I could see people, right? Because here we are on this little grid with mostly black squares and names. And I like to know that there's a person behind it all. Hopefully you all had a good time. There is no person. Come on, you're a person, Varun. You're welcome for being fun. I hope you guys all had fun both making the game and playing the game. Just like any puzzle game, it can be frustrating at times. And you know what they say, it's the same thing they say about baseball. If it were easy, everybody would do it, right? So the harder a thing is, the more dopamine gets released when you finally solve it. So it should be today that the copyright should take effect for the pizza video. Oh yeah, John already got MVP, so he did send in the guinea pig. So he got MVP for sending in the video, the guinea pig. So we are covered. The Beast is Mr. Beast is going down. Where is Mr. You're not putting the poor guinea pig down, are you? What?
Wait. Should I give context? Or
yes, please.
Okay. So, one of the replies. Okay, so the Striking Company, right, has a contact page where you're able to put your email and contact information to be reached out later. And so one of the replies was, "Can you please help me take down a Mr. Beast video?" And then I decided to respond to that as impersonating as the company team member. And so aside from going through the logistics, then we talked about, like, aside from taking down the pizza, Mr. Beast's YouTube pizza challenge, I was saying we were going to get that copyright in about 3 to 4 days from that date. So that should be, I believe that's today at this point, because that email came out like on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is you filed a real copyright strike against?
No, we're joking. I had to pretend to do it. Yeah.
Please don't get me fired. So it was on Mr. Beast, who is a popular YouTuber. Yes. Excellent. Too late. No. Okay. So I've given fabulous prizes for some subset of fabulous. You guys have had a good time, both solving puzzles and creating puzzles. I would like to, if you played the other ARG, which begs the question, the first question is, what's the name of that ARG? I guess it's, well, I don't know. I'm going to ask later, but it's the Grave of the Immortal Man. This is the name of the Discord.
Yep,
Let
pretty
me drop the other Zoom room in, because we're going to continue this discussion at 4, talking about that ARG at this address. I'm going to copy, and I'm not going to send it privately to John. This is where we're going next. So I am going to thank you all for creating a cool game. Thank all the players for playing through it, and especially for saving the world. Okay. And I will see you in that other Zoom room at 4 p.m. where we will continue this discussion. Thank you all. I hope you had a great time. And stop by on Thursday if you're in the class. We'll wrap it all up and try and get the big picture. Okay? Okay, great. Thanks for coming. I'm going to stop.